Hello everyone! Today we got spoilers for the rare base cycle for the new set that's coming out. And bases are something that are really important to the game. A lot of times strategies can kind of revolve around them. So I wanted to talk about them real quick. And we're going to start off with the common base first. So this Fortress Vader that's right above my head, there is one of these for every color, and this is the common base cycle. So this is what we're going to be comparing the rare bases to. This is 28 health. When a friendly force unit attacks, you create a force token. So if you don't know how the force works, basically you can only have one token at a time. While the force is with you, you can have some effects, and a lot of times you're spending the force for some really powerful other effects. So this requires you to play force units, obviously, is the first thing you see. So if you want to use a force effect without a lot of force units, you can't really use these. They're 2 health less, which is a pretty safe number. Usually the 28 and 30s are about the same. They're not quite as spooky as playing a 25 base. But that's enough of that. Let's get to some
up, I think we got
the
upgrades.
Oh
yes.
my god.
And
Let's get on to some of the rare bases. So let's see. First off, we have the red base, which is Temple of Destruction. 25 health, and you'll notice all the rare bases have 25 health. When a friendly unit deals 3 or more combat damage to enemy base, the force is with you. So this is interesting. Notably, it's not an epic action, so you can have it trigger multiple times. One really unique thing about the red base is it can trigger multiple times per turn, which a lot of the other bases don't have. So for example, you could use the force, swing with a unit, get the force back, swing with another, then use the force again, then swing with another unit, and so on and so forth, which is kind of the strength of the base. In aggro decks that use force, this base is probably going to be better than the other ones just because you can get the force without having to play a force unit first. For example, if you want to still play like a turn 2 Sabine or something like that, when it swings, it will grant you the force because it does... Oh, I guess that one wouldn't because it wouldn't be 3 combat damage. But you could play just a 3-2 unit on one and it would do that. Pretty strong, probably one of the better, more useful ones, but let's see what the other options are. Next up, we have Tomb of Elaram, which is the cutting base. Once again, 25 health. Action, exhaust a friendly unit. The force is with you. Once again, this is something that you can use multiple times per turn, which is kind of crazy, but it's a lot harder to do because you have to have units out there already. And since your units aren't coming in active, it's actually kind of annoying. I think this one isn't strong enough, personally. It's nice. I mean, technically you can trigger it multiple times, but if you're going to do that, like, you have to be way out in front. And the 25 health is kind of a sticking point for this too. I think that, for the most part, this one won't see as much play as Temple. And I think if you want to go force with Cunning, you're probably better off with the extra 3 HP and just getting it on the unit attacks. Next up, we have the green base, which is Mystic Monastery. 25 health again. Action, the force is with you. Uses ability no more than 3 times each game. So this one is really interesting. This one has a hard limit, unlike the other two, where you only get to create the force 3 times each game. There are units that create the force as well, so in order to play like a force-centric deck with this, you would need to play a bunch of units that also generate the force, as I feel like 3 times probably isn't enough for a full game. Probably like 4 or 5 if you're playing a force-heavy deck. This could also be played in a deck that only needs to use the force like 1 to 3 times per game. Maybe you're only playing like 1 unit that uses the force or something like that, and you don't want to play any of the units that grant it. You want to make sure you have it. I think 25 health on this base is kind of spooky. It's probably not better than the extra 3 health just for the force unit attack. And it's also competing with ECL and the 33 health base, both of which are probably stronger than this in a vacuum. So there might be like a very specific deck that wants this, but for the most part, I think we're going to be playing the common base over it. Lastly, we have the blue base, which is Burgent's Temple. 25 health again. When regroup phase starts, which is basically the beginning of your turn, if you control a unit with 4 or more remaining HP, the force is with you. So this one is really interesting, because when you look at it, sure, you get it basically once per turn, but you have to have a unit at the start of your turn, which isn't always super easy to do. And I don't know, it requires such a specific deck, right? It requires you to be playing a deck that has a lot of things with high health that can trade and then still be okay, like, on the next turn. Also, the other problem with this is, like, it's really easy to manipulate by your opponent, because your opponent sees you have this base, right? So they know that if they don't want you to get the force, all they have to do is knock all your units below 4 HP, which I feel like isn't that hard to do. You can't use it multiple times per turn. I don't know. Plus, like, blue has a lot of good Jedi, so I feel like this is going to be probably the weakest of the bases. I just feel like the 28 is just a lot better in blue. I definitely think in terms of power, the red one will probably be the one that sees the most play. It just fits really well into an aggressive deck. After that, I'm not super hot on these bases. I think they're just a little bit too... 25 health is rough. I think they should have varied a couple. I think, like, the yellow and the green in particular probably could have had more health and been fine. And just attacking with a force unit seems a lot easier. We have, like, 1 and 2 drop force units all over the place in this set. So I feel like for the most part, we are just going to end up playing the common bases. We'll see. Like I said, aggression with the hyper aggro focus, I could see that being slightly better because you can attack with non-force units and still get the force. Other than that, I don't see a lot of these bases beating out the commons or the bases that we already have. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video. And yeah, I want to hear about you, because I was a little disappointed by these bases. I was hoping for something a little bit more powerful, I guess, for a 25 health base. Or maybe something with more health but slightly weaker. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed. Let me know in the comments what you think.